Well, a video I was not maybe expecting to have to make during the summertime, but should Mehdi Taremi leave Inter? And if he does, is there any team that's actually still interested in him? Let's talk about it. As we all know, the season didn't quite end well for Inter and Mehdi Taremi. They unfortunately didn't win the Scudetto. They got absolutely booty tickled in the Champions League final. And then their head coach Inzaghi decided to jump ship to Al Hilal for big smackaroonies. And I thought, hey, Club World Cup, fresh start, new coach. I genuinely thought this tournament was going to be able to help rejuvenate Mehdi Taremi in his Inter career so far. But unfortunately, Israel happened. He got called up to Iran for international duty, which I said in numerous videos, it was not necessary to call him up for those matches because we've already qualified. I'd rather have just seen other players play. Then he had to stick around another extra day for this rip-off Ballon d'Or the Iranian Football Federation were hosting. And Mehdi Taremi won the Coupe de Ballon d'Or. And then that whole fiasco with Israel happened. And I don't really like talking about politics on the channel, but I do want to put out one little quick message that I've already posted across my social medias talking about. But as well, I want to express this message on a video for you all. I was extremely heartbroken by everything that recently happened in Iran. So many innocent lives lost in these recent attacks. My heart, thoughts, and prayers goes out to all the families that were affected in these recent tragedies. Iran doesn't deserve this kind of pain. I'm hoping for brighter days ahead for the beautiful people of Iran. Long live Iran. But now when it comes to talking about Mehdi Taremi, he unfortunately missed out on a semi-underwhelming Club World Cup for Inter. But again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I really felt like this could have been a tournament where Taremi could have played well in based off of the opponents Inter were playing, would have gotten some good game time, and prove himself to his new coach Chievo that he should be a contender in the starting positions with Martinez and Thuram. That obviously didn't happen. I think that's a big bummer. At the same time, I don't mind that he got a little bit of rest because Taremi's been playing a lot of football recently for Inter with Iran. He had that niggling groin injury throughout the entirety of last season, so a break was maybe needed. But since then, we have seen the departures of Correa and Arnautovic, which were pretty well established near the end of last season. But after this Club World Cup, I really feel like Taremi has fallen down the pecking order to the point of where he's like a fifth string striker for Inter. Inter have brought in Jan Boni, and throughout the tournament, we saw Francisco Esposito really filling well for Inter, and as well, he's like 19 years old. I personally felt like he was one of Inter's best players throughout this tournament. I thought he played really, really well. With Martinez and Thuram being locked in starters, which Boni's probably going to be that third or fourth option. Esposito really proved himself in this Club World Cup. And then I'm like, well, where does Taremi fit into this? Because Boni's that new shiny toy, like what Taremi was last year. Esposito has really proven himself to his new coach. And Taremi is kind of like the outside looking in. He's like that meme that's stuck into the invisible box. Like, what am I supposed to do here? It's already been reported that he is going to be joining back up with Inter for preseason once that starts up. We'll have to see how things develop, but there has been a handful of rumors that he could be leaving Inter. I wouldn't fully believe that he is 100% out the door. I mean, my guy hasn't even played for them, hasn't really even probably spoken face to face with their new head coach. So how are you just going to determine he's 100% out the door? But there is probably some like underlying truth that Inter have like one eye looking at Taremi should maybe leave the club. Maybe we should cash in on him, cut our losses. For my intuition, I just don't know if he's even remotely close to a third choice option for them at the striker position like he was last year. And with Inter fans constantly always on his back, excluding the ones that no ball, I think it could be appropriate for him to leave. I know I said he should stay at Inter, fight for his spot, but I think a lot of those circumstances has changed since we last spoke. I thought he was gonna go with Inter to the Club World Cup. It was gonna be a fresh opportunity for him to play really well with Martinez or be that guy for him throughout the tournament, really springboard himself, get that rest during off season, going into next season, but none of that has been the case. He's been very unfortunate with what happened in Iran, getting stuck there, not being able to be a part of this Inter squad whatsoever at the Club World Cup, because I felt this tournament was a good teaser that Chievo was probably looking at, seeing what his options were, seeing what players fit his style and whatnot, that experimental phase that I know if Taremi played, he would have been able to grasp that opportunity, because I think he has a very good football IQ. He can adapt, he can learn, he's a very flexible player, and that's why a lot of coaches really like him. By the way, everyone, don't forget I am giving away a signed Alireza Jahanbash jersey. All you have to do is head over to this post on Instagram. Make sure you are following me, like the post, and comment, and that's all you have to do to be entered. So make sure to go do that if you haven't already. But now back into the video. When it comes to clubs that might be interested in him, I know recently when it comes to Iranian footballers having good interest, making positive moves, it hasn't looked that good for us. But for Taremi, he actually has some good offers on the table. And from everything that I know about him, he's definitely not the type of guy to just slag off and go to Qatar or the Middle East or make that huge downgrade move like that certain horse guy that I talked about in a previous video. He wants to keep playing at a high level. And from the reports, there are 3 concrete teams that have shown some interest in Taremi so far. And those teams are Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and Beşiktaş. First and foremost, I don't think a move to the Turkish league is right for Taremi right now. I think for other certain Iranian players, I think it would be a good move, but for Taremi, I'm just gonna rule that one out right away. The other 2 clubs, though, that I was constantly rambling on about on Twitter saying these are the right teams that he should go to, in Nottingham Forest and Fulham, I like the opportunities he could have going to the Premier League. If you guys have been a long time subscriber on the channel, I have always said I think Taremi could be a guy that could be successful in the Premier League. I know Iranian footballers haven't been quite successful in that league, but I genuinely think if Taremi went there, I think he could be the first Iranian to do bits in the Premier League. When it comes to some of the information regarding the 2 clubs, their interests and whatnot, from what I've gathered, so far Nottingham Forest have signed Igor Jesus, who is a striker, so I thought, okay, maybe the Taremi rumors might be out the door, but it looks like Anthony Elanga is going to be joining Newcastle. So I still think the Taremi option is still on the table because, yes, Nottingham Forest do sometimes play with a 1-striker formation, but as well did play with a 2-striker formation with Elanga and Chris Wood. And what my guess is Taremi would be that backup / be competing with Chris Wood. And we mustn't forget, I believe Nottingham Forest are playing in the Europa Conference League next year, so that's going to be more games and they need more depth in those positions. Taremi's a guy that has a plethora of experience playing in the UEFA competitions. But I think Fulham is the team that has shown the most interest in Taremi. They're the team that most reporters have said have submitted a £5 million bid to try to sign Taremi, and it is looking very likely that Rodrigo Muniz is gonna be joining Leeds United. Yes, Fulham mainly play with a 1-striker formation, but their main 2 strikers are Muniz and Jimenez. And Jimenez and Taremi, I feel, are kind of similar. I do think they are still different strikers, but there's a lot of similarities between the 2 of them. And with Muniz likely out the door, and Fulham possibly maybe wanting to make a higher Premier League push this year, I think Taremi could be that guy. And as well, there is that Iranian connection we mustn't forget. Ashkan Dejaga once upon a time played at Fulham. So I do like that prospect, but if I were to handpick what should Taremi do, what is my opinion on all of this? From my footballing 6th sense, I just don't think Taremi has much of a chance anymore to Inter. I think all in all, the whole thing, ever since he has joined Inter, he's just been flat out unlucky. Yeah, obviously these Inter fans will constantly keyboard warrior on the internet and just say he's shit, he should get the fuck out, this and that. But like, realistically, I think he's been so unlucky. He was dealing with that groin injury throughout the season. No matter what he did, positive, negative, fans were always on his back, constantly always posting about him. Reporters were always on his back. He was always the guy looking from the outside in. And I thought Club World Cup, fresh start, new coach, he's probably going to experiment with the team. Taremi's going to be going with them. He's confirmed to be on the roster. Then him getting stuck in Iran. It's just been a recipe of just unluckiness. I feel like we're at a point where I just think he needs a fresh start. And I really, really like the prospect of him going to the Premier League. Nottingham Forest, Fulham, I don't think it matters as long as the club that he is going to in the Prem is guaranteeing him a main role at the club. I think that's the biggest thing we want for Taremi. Getting consistent game time. Like when he was at Porto, he was always the out and out guy for the club. Yes, I don't mind if he takes a slightly lesser role, like if he has to compete with Jimenez or has to compete with Chris Wood, but that's just one guy. At this point with Inter, he's competing with 4 other strikers. Yes, they play with 2 strikers, but he's no longer the new shiny toy for them. I think Inter, their fans, their patience has just run out with him. I think a fresh start, being guaranteed the opportunity of playing consistent minutes, being one of their main strikers would be a positive jump for him. Yeah, it would be a bonus if he goes to one of the English teams that is playing a European competition, but But if he joins a Prem team that is like a top half team, I think it would be great. Be it Nottingham Forest, be it Fulham, maybe another Premier League team wants to come in and make that swoop, I'm okay with it. Him staying in a top 5 league was what I was originally looking at if he was to leave Inter. But going to the Premier League, literally the #1 league in the world, as much as you don't think Iranian should go there because we are cursed there, or the managers don't rate us, or this and that, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to pave that path. And I think Taremi could be that guy. Say if he's successful there, then maybe they look at other younger Iranian footballers going into their primes to sign for them in the future. I would love for him to go there and open that gate for other Iranian footballers. But to wrap up this video for you all, the most important thing in my opinion for Taremi is whatever decision he makes the decision and sticks with it. Because I don't want to see him be joining a team very late in the transfer window, maybe similar to Sardar Azmoun with his whole Roma signing, because he joined Roma once Bayer Leverkusen's season had started, Roma's season has started, so he had to really catch up and acclimate with the team. If he's gonna leave, try to join that team early on in preseason. Get adjusted, use that time to adapt. Or if you're gonna stick it out with Inter, then stick it out and fight for your spot. Don't try to be wishy-washy and make a last-minute move, which I don't think he is the type of player to do that, but that's probably my biggest thing when it comes to if he ends up staying or going. And the final thing I want to add is he is 33 years old, so this is kind of the do or die situation for him. In my opinion, I think he has at least 2 to 3 good years left in Europe. And if he wants to be one of the top strikers going into the 2026 World Cup, he's got to make the right decision to join a club that will keep him in top form going into that major tournament. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think Taremi should stay at Inter? Should he leave? Which club should he go to? Which league should he go to? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to smash the like button on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out this video next, where I interviewed the Iranian national team captain, Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh. And click over here as I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. So yeah, I hope you'll have a lovely day.